A farmer is preparing for the next harvest. An engineer is imagining better infrastructure. An artist is creating something meaningful. A community leader is solving local challenges. Each of these actions may seem small, yet together they form the foundation of tomorrow. History teaches us an important lesson. Great cities are not built in a single generation. They are built through countless contributions made by ordinary people over long periods of time. People whose names may never appear in history books. People who simply chose to do their best. People who believed that progress was worth pursuing. Banjar's story reflects this truth. Its transformation from a district into an autonomous city did not happen overnight. Its infrastructure did not appear instantly. Its institutions did not emerge by accident. Everything required effort. Everything required sacrifice. Everything required patience. And because of those efforts, today's generation inherits opportunities that previous generations could only imagine. This inheritance carries responsibility. The responsibility to continue building. The responsibility to continue improving. The responsibility to protect what is valuable while embracing what is possible. That balance may define Banjar's future more than anything else. Because the 21st century presents challenges unlike any previous era. Climate change, urbanization, technological disruption, global competition, resource management, demographic shifts. Every city must navigate these realities. The question is not whether change will occur. The question is how communities respond. Banjar possesses important advantages. Its strategic location remains one of its greatest strengths. As transportation networks continue evolving across Java, connectivity will become even more valuable. The city's position as a gateway between West Java and Central Java creates opportunities for commerce, logistics, tourism, education, and investment. What once made Banjar important in the past may become even more significant in the future. But geography alone does not determine destiny. People do. And Banjar's greatest resource has always been its people. The people who continue adapting, the people who continue learning, the people who continue creating opportunities, the people who continue believing in the future. When we look across Indonesia, we often focus on major metropolitan centers, the largest populations, the tallest buildings, the biggest economies. Yet the true strength of a nation is distributed across hundreds of cities and communities, places like Banjar, places where development happens steadily, places where social bonds remain strong, places where culture continues to thrive, places where ordinary citizens quietly contribute to extraordinary national progress. Banjar represents the spirit of regional Indonesia, resilient, optimistic, hardworking, connected to tradition yet open to innovation. These qualities matter because the future belongs not only to places with resources, it belongs to places with vision. Vision transforms challenges into opportunities. Vision turns limitations into motivation. Vision allows communities to imagine possibilities beyond current circumstances. And Banjar has demonstrated vision throughout its history. Every stage of development required leaders willing to think ahead, communities willing to cooperate, citizens willing to support progress. Those same qualities will remain essential in the decades to come. Imagine a future visitor arriving in Banjar. Perhaps they step off a train at Banjar Station. Perhaps they arrive by road after traveling through the southern corridor of Java. Perhaps they know little about the city. At first, they see only another destination, another point on a map, another stop along a journey. But as they spend time there, something changes. They begin noticing the details, the friendliness of local residents, the beauty of the surrounding landscapes, the calm atmosphere of its parks, the significance of its railway heritage, the flavors of its traditional cuisine, the peaceful presence of its mosques, the rhythm of daily life. the strength of its community, and gradually they realize something important. Banjar is not defined by a single landmark. It is defined by character. Character built over generations, character shaped by history, character strengthened by resilience, character expressed through everyday acts of kindness, perseverance, and cooperation. That kind of character cannot be manufactured, it must be earned, and Banjar has earned it. As the sun sets over the hills surrounding the city, the landscape begins to glow with warm light. The Citanduy River continues its timeless journey. The railway tracks stretch toward distant horizons. The call to prayer drifts across neighborhoods. Families gather together. Children laugh. Workers return home. Life continues, just as it has for generations, just as it will for generations yet to come. And perhaps that is the most inspiring part of Banjar's story. It reminds us that history is never truly finished. Every generation receives a chapter. Every generation writes a chapter. And every generation passes the story forward. The people who came before built the foundations. The people of today continue the work. The people of tomorrow will carry it further. That is how communities endure. That is how cities grow. That is how legacies are created. When future historians look back at Banjar, they may talk about its strategic location. They may discuss its transportation networks. They may analyse its economic development. They may study its urban transformation. All of those things matter. But perhaps the most important lesson they will discover is much simpler. Banjar succeeded because its people never stopped believing in progress. They never stopped investing in their communities. They never stopped preserving their values. They never stopped preparing for the future. And because of that commitment, Banjar became more than a place. It became an example of how a city can grow without losing its identity. An example of how tradition and innovation can coexist. An example of how local pride can inspire collective achievement. An example of how ordinary people can create extraordinary outcomes. So the next time you hear the name Banjar, do not think only of geography. Do not think only of roads. Do not think only of train stations. Do not think only of statistics. Think of the generations who built it. Think of the communities who sustain it. Think of the dreams that continue to shape it. Think of the future that is already emerging within it. Because Banjar is not merely a city in West Java. It is a living testament to resilience, a bridge connecting regions, a guardian of culture, a steward of nature, a centre of faith, a home for aspiration, and a reminder that some of the most meaningful places in the world are not necessarily the most famous. They are the places where people quietly dedicate themselves to building something better every single day. The places where hope becomes action. The places where challenges become opportunities. The places where history becomes inspiration. The places where the future begins. And there, on the southern gateway of West Java, between the movement of trains, the flow of the Citanduy River, the serenity of its lakes, the strength of its communities, and the dreams of its people, stands a city that continues moving forward with dignity and purpose. A city that remembers its past. A city that embraces its present. A city that believes in its future. That city is Banjar, and its story is far from over. In many ways, it is only just beginning.